Another day in the shop here. We got the 4runner. We're gonna get the fuel hooked up. So that includes the filler neck, the lines. Most of the lines are kind of already ran, but they're not like mounted down yet. So we'll get into that right now. Got the high pressure ran. It's mounted to the fender right there. Runs down, connects to the factory line. And there's the connection. This was from Off-Road Solution. Good stuff. As usual, not disappointed in their quality of parts. Everything just connects as it should. I've been saying that this whole series, but it's been huge help. Return fuel line ran along the firewall, and it drops down to the factory return line right there. I did get the filler neck hooked up. This hose is very old, so it's not on all the way, so I might just go get a new hose. May try to work it on there further, but it may just be better just to go buy a new hose. But I also got the filler neck on the outside connected, so I'll show you guys that. 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bolts right in, and there you have it. There it is. Okay, got most of the body work for the front done. Headlights installed, side markers, turn signals, bumpers, grille, fenders, hood. I did cut the hood in 2 spots for clearance on the engine, and I did get this fender off of Amazon, just temporary, so I can drive it around. Hooking up the headlights right now, getting them wired. So just working on that. I did get the battery connected, and I was messing with it, seeing if the fuel pump will prime the engine to make sure I don't have any fuel leaks. And I was just gonna bump start it, and I just think the battery's too dead. I did buy another one, it's on its way, but I just think the battery's too dead to crank it. It was just clicking, so as soon as the new battery comes in, we'll switch it out. Hopefully it'll start. Maybe I'll put some jumper cables just to see what it does. See if I can at least crank it just a little bit, just to bump start it, get the fluids going through the power steering and get the fuel up to the engine. Got some issues on the 4runner here. For some reason it's not starting. I'll show you guys what it does. But it's just clicking. It's a fresh battery. I made sure the ground was good, so I'm just double checking everything. If I start it directly to the battery, it turns over and starts just fine. But I'm not getting 12 volts at the trigger wire here. So I'm thinking it has to do with something with the relay. I've read a lot about how the relay wires are faulty. So there's a way to cut it. Cut one of these wires and you wire it directly to the battery. I'm not sure if this is what the problem is, but I've covered all my bases at this point. I've checked all my wiring, made sure everything is plugged in correctly. It's not getting 12 volts to that trigger wire. Again, if I just jump this starter accelerator wire straight to the battery, it turns over and runs. So I might try that relay trick and see if that does anything. I'll keep you guys posted. But for now, this is what it does. So check this out. If I connect it just straight to the starter, turns over. So we took the starter relay apart, and this is what we found. I mean, look how much rust is in there. Excuse the noise, I got some work going on next door here. But check that out. Look at the inside of here. Let's see, can it focus? I don't know if you guys can see that. Why won't it focus? There you go. And look at all that rust in there, dude. That's why it's not starting. It's because the starter relay is messed up. They told me to check these plugs. So I checked the plugs with a 12 volt. See if I had 12 volts to a certain wire when I turned the key on to the start position, and I didn't. So they said, well, check the starter relay. So took it apart, and what I found was pretty crazy. That's a lot of rust. Intake in. This is a custom intake. So I wound up cutting the intake tube, getting a mass airflow sensor piece and an adapter to connect the two. I still need to build like some sort of bracket to hold it up, but the mass airflow sensor is connected. All the hoses are connected, all the vacuum lines. It's pretty much ready to start up. The only thing is I do have the dash apart right now because I was going to do the tachometer resistor. Off-Road Solutions supplied the resistor, so I was going to solder it in, make the factory tachometer work again. So I'll be doing that, and should fire up. Fingers crossed this time. I did clean up the starter relay. Took it apart, cleaned it up. Now I'm just letting it soak in some rust remover, and I'm going to clean it up with like a toothbrush and then clean it with brake cleaner, and then spray it off with the air compressor, get all the stuff out of there. And then I was going to put some dielectric grease, stuff it in there, put it all back together. Hopefully it starts. I can bypass this or get a new relay, but I prefer not to. I'm trying to keep it on a budget here. So we'll see if that works. But yeah, in the next video, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be starting this thing up. So stay tuned for that next video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe if you aren't already.